So today I'm continuing going around the color wheel and comparing a couple different paint colors from the same area of the color wheel. So today I'm looking at two of the warmer reds, cadmium-free red light and cadmium red. Just one note about the concept of a warm red versus a cool red. All reds are generally considered warm, but some lean a bit warmer or a bit cooler. So in the case of cad-free red light and cadmium red, they tend to lean warm because they are a bit more orange. If you're looking for a cool red, that would be probably more of a magenta or alizarin crimson. So today I'll mix these two colors with a few different other colors that I've been using. So ultramarine blue and phthalo blue green shade, cadmium lemon and cadmium lemon medium hue, and yellow ochre. I've been using all of these colors to compare different colors around the color wheel just to get examples of how these colors mix. If you've seen some of my past videos of this series, you might remember me using burnt sienna, but I've switched to yellow ochre for today just because burnt sienna, because it's a red, I'm not getting big enough differences to really kind of be able to compare the two paint colors. And of course, I'm using titanium white to kind of reveal some of the undertones of the paints. Okay, so let's get started. I'll just move these out of the way. So first up, I will start with some cad-free red light, just pure. So you can see it's definitely a very orangey color. Now I'll just start adding some white to that, just so you can start seeing some of the colors that you can get just by adding white. Now, when I do this, I'm just quickly mixing. I'm not trying to do an exact mix where I'm comparing, with the exact same amount of white when I'm mixing. It's just meant to give you a bit of an idea of what you can achieve using these colors. Okay. So there is a few tints of cadmium-free red light. Now, if you've never heard of the cadmium-free red light range, it's paint that manufacturers have used to eliminate cadmium from the paint colors. Some people are concerned about the potential toxicity of the true cadmiums, so manufacturers have created versions that mimic what, like in this case, a true cadmium red light would look like. So that's essentially what it is. So first, we're starting with ultramarine blue. This is mixed with cadmium-free red light. It makes it extremely dark. I'll just add some white to it. You can see it's just a really nice gray. Now let's try ultramarine blue, but this is the ultramarine blue mixed with a lot of the cad-free red light, and it's a brown. And add some white to that. It's really great to know, get to know your paint colors and see where you can get what is essentially a black out of the colors that you already own. That saves you some money so that you don't have to keep buying paints, but it also allows you to create different shadows, and a lot of people find that using black really deadens a painting, so being able to mix your own black is really useful. Okay, phthalo blue green is next. So this first mix is with a lot of the phthalo blue green. Again, just like the ultramarine, a very dark color. Now let's add some white. We can see what we're actually working with. There you go. That's a really nice turquoise. Now let's see what it looks like with phthalo blue-green, but mixed with a lot of the cad-free red light. And it's another brown. So add some white to that. There you go. Less warm of a brown than the one mixed with the ultramarine blue. And that's to be expected because ultramarine blue tends to lean, it's a blue, but it's more of a red blue. And the phthalo blue-green is, like the name implies, more of a green blue. So next up is cad lemon. And here it is, mixed with a lot of cad lemon and just a little bit of the cad-free red light. And I'm going to add some white, a little bit more white. And now let's try it with a lot more of the cad-free red light. And definitely still a very orangey red. And there it is, mixed with a bit of white. It's not dramatically different, but it'd be great if you're just trying to make a bit of a warmer red. Now let's move over to cadmium yellow medium hue. Just add a little bit of the actual color. Now here it is, mixed cadmium yellow medium hue mixed with just a bit of the cad-free red light. And here it is with some white. So you can see that the cad yellow medium hue seems to be a bit stronger of a mix than the cad lemon. But also keeping in mind that I'm not necessarily mixing the exact same amount, but it does give you a bit of an idea. And there it is with a lot more of the cad-free red light and just a little bit of the cad medium and with some white. And now finally for the cad-free red light, I'll mix it with the yellow ochre. And there's just some straight yellow ochre. Now, first up, here's yellow ochre mixed with a little bit of the cad-free red light. And we'll get a bit of white added to that. It's a nice neutralized tone, I think. And here's the yellow ochre mixed with a lot more of the red. And grab some white to mix with that. A bit more white. There we go. Okay, now let's move over to the cadmium red. Now this is a true cadmium. So this previous one, like I said before, it's made to mimic the cadmium paints, but doesn't actually have any cadmium in it. So there is cadmium red just straight out of the tube. I'm gonna add some white. I find cadmium red to be quite strong. Oh, that white didn't seem to make much of a difference, so let's keep adding some more white. So yeah, like I said, cadmium red tends to be quite strong, so it takes it can really, you don't need much to affect your mixes and turn your mixes red. And let's just do one more with a bit more white. There you go. I'm not doing like a full clean mix there, but it does give you an idea of the paler shades of pink that you can get out of this cadmium red. Okay, now ultramarine blue. So first just some of the pure blue. And here is ultramarine blue, leaning more towards having a lot of ultramarine blue and less of the red. So it's definitely another really dark color. So let's add some white so you can see what you're really working with. You can see it's kind of a neutralized bluey purple. Next up is ultramarine blue, but with a lot of the cadmium red. And that's quite a nice, really dark, moody red. I like that. Now let's get some white. There you go. Nice, muddy, but pale, purpley, maroony color. Now let's take a look at phthalo green again. Here's the pure phthalo blue green. Sorry, I said phthalo green, but it's phthalo blue green. So there's two phthalo blues. One leans blue and one leans green and one leans red. Okay, so phthalo blue green mixed with just a bit of the cad red makes a very dark. Now let's grab a little white so you can see what you're working with here. There you go. Nice muddy, I say muddy turquoise, but just more of a neutralized turquoise. Should be great for all sorts of shadow colors. I love any sort of turquoise though, so I'm a bit biased. Next step, we'll do phthalo blue green, but mixed with a lot of the cadmium red. That's nice neutralized red as well. Now let's add some white to it. Let's add a bit more white. There we go. It's a bit better. Another really neutralized color. Next up, cadmium lemon. Just do a quick dab of the original. And grab some cadmium lemon mixed with just a little bit of the cad red. There you go. Nice light orange. Now let's add a bit of white. And next up, cadmium lemon mixed with a lot of cadmium red. Cadmium red is really strong. So I had a fair amount of cadmium lemon in with that. And really, it's not too far off the original cadmium red, but it is a little bit, I'd say less intense. Okay, now let's get some white mixed in with that. There you go. Next up, cadmium yellow, medium hue. And there is the pure color. Add some, just a little bit of the red, the cadmium red, to this one. And you can see it's more, definitely a darker color than the cadmium lemon, a darker value. And add some white. Now let's take a look at a mix with a lot of the red. And it, like the other, the cad lemon, the cadmium red really just overpowers it quite quickly. But it's good to know about how the yellows mix in, so you can, if you want to just slightly neutralize or maybe make the cadmium red a little bit paler without making it pink, you can try yellow, mixing with yellows. Okay, now yellow ochre is our last color in this mix. on this mixing sheet. So there it is with the pure yellow ochre. Now yellow ochre mixed with just a bit of the red. Add some white. And last but not least, cadmium red with just a little bit of the yellow ochre. That's a nice color. Just add some white to that. There we go. Let's finish cleaning off my paintbrush this last time. So my initial thoughts, I'm not completely sure which one I would use on my palette. I've been using cadmium-free red light quite a bit recently because I took a course and this is what the instructor recommended. My cadmium red, I haven't really been using it much lately, partly because for some reason this packaging doesn't seem to be holding up, so it's a bit messy. And this Liquitex, I like their packaging. So just easy use, having nothing to do with the actual colors. That's one of the reasons why, or one of the couple of reasons why I've been leaning to use the CAD-free red light lately. I don't know which one I would use long term though. They both have their advantages, I think, and disadvantages. I think cadmium red maybe slightly takes the lead for me if I were just choosing one of these colors to be on my palette. And that's just because I think you can get some really nice color mixes. You get a bit more intensity than you do out of the CAD-free red light, but I think I'm going to have to spend a little bit more time using both of them in actual paintings before I make a decision. But I hope this helps you as you make your decisions of what colors to add to your palette.